Everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're starting a new series on the Vindicator. I just thought I'd show you guys this. I just put this together today. It's a Dynam Stearman PT17. I did a little paint work on it. Put some FMS Tiger Cat wheels, a little detail painting. It's a cool little model. It's got all the wires on it and everything, which are pretty cool. Anyways, kind of pretty sweet. Hopefully it flies good. Kind of hoping it flies like the little UMX Stearman, and if it does, I'll be stoked. Anywho, back to the video. So, those of you who don't know, and many of you probably don't, this is a Vindicator. It is called a SB2U Vindicator, and it's built by Vought. If you don't know, Vought is the company that designed and built the Corsair. And if you'll notice this design, look at the tail, look at the wing. Even though it's not a bent wing, the overall profile of the wing, like from the top view, is basically just like a Corsair. The tail's basically just like a Corsair. Even like the overall proportions, like the short nose, long tail, it's pretty much a pre-war Corsair with straight wings meant to drop bombs with 2 seats. So it's not really a Corsair, but you can see where the Corsair may have got some of its design influence. Being that this is built by the same company, it's easy to see why. A lot of the companies like Grumman and Vought, a lot of their designs are very similar, just different sizes and for different purposes. For instance, you start off with the Hellcat, short, stubby, but basic layout, and then they went to the Hellcat, which is just an upgraded version, an enlarged version of the Wildcat, and they went to the Bearcat, which is just an improvement of both of those, Wildcat and Hellcat together. And anyways, that's how companies used to do it. So what is this model? Why am I working on it? And did I build it? No, I did not build it. My good friend John Morgan, who passed away last year, this was the last airplane he was building before he passed away, and he didn't finish it, obviously. He got too sick, too fast, and just wasn't able to finish it. So my friend John went and visited my other friend John Morgan's widow, visited with her for a couple days and picked this up to bring it back. And my friend Scott and I are finishing it in John's honor and hoping to fly it at our yearly event in St. George, Utah in September, which is rapidly approaching. And unfortunately, I'm working a lot out of town right now, so it's going to be sporty, but we'll get it done. Thanks to Scott, who did a ton of work on this model. Pretty much is the only reason why I'm going to get this finished is because of everything Scott did. So let me just give you a close-up of some of the work Scott did. So he did all the cockpit stuff. Now, let me back this up a second. So the whole idea behind this model is that John wanted to build it very lightweight, so it'd fly at a scale speed and be easy to fly and not be a brick, you know? And if you can't tell, this is a large model. This, I think, is an 86-inch wingspan. It's actually bigger than my 70cc powered 23-pound Bearcat. It's got a bigger wing, longer fuselage. I just weighed the components. Get a load of this. The wing is 2.5 pounds. The fuselage is 3 pounds with no motor. The motor's about a half a pound. It already has the retracts in it, the ESC, and all the servos. So you're looking at 6 pounds, 86-inch wingspan. That's insane. This thing is gonna fly so good. This wing is massive. No, there's no flaps. It doesn't need them. I mean, this thing's like a Piper Cub that looks like something cool. Not that Pipers aren't cool. Anyways, so yeah, so my friend Scott did a bunch of work on this, and the whole idea is to keep this as light as possible. John built this. Actually, this is a built-up Depron wing, and John did a build thread on this airplane, and he actually he builds a structure out of Depron ribs. You can see the outline where the ribs are at, and blue foam spar, leading edge, and trailing edge, And you build it as a box, and then you hot wire it like you would a foam core, and then you sheet it with Depron. It's crazy, yeah. Look how big this thing is. My hand is huge, by the way. It's a big model. It's a beast. 6 pounds. Unbelievable. I'm hoping to not add a whole lot of weight with the canopies and the paint and everything else. There's not a whole lot left to add to this thing, besides the pilots and all that. But anyway, I'm getting totally all over the place here. So yeah, so the whole idea is to build it super lightweight, not get carried away, keep it light. And the last few of John Morgan's builds were all done in the same fashion. He was really trying to maximize the size of the airplane, minimize the weight, and just have a really easy to fly, slow flying airplane that can mimic the scale speed of the real airplane. And this thing should fly really freaking sweet. I'm super excited about this airplane. And it's neat to build something new and different because I didn't know a lot about these airplanes before I got involved with this project. So let me show you guys what Scott did. I'll give you guys some close-ups. So Scott works for companies that do movie props and suits and everything else. So he's basically, in every sense of the term, an artist. And you can see by the work that he does, he is incredible. So that is a raft inside there. And no, this isn't that shape because he doesn't know what a circle looks like. It's on that way for a reason. So I guess on the real one, there's a cable that comes out here and they pick it up with a crane, they can hoist it up. So that's what that is. But he didn't want to get too carried away with like a full cockpit, full pilots, because you got to keep the weight down. That was John's whole idea here. So we're trying to build it like John would have built it and do the same things that John would have done instead of just doing what we would have done. So we're still trying to keep it super light. That's why I can't get carried away with like the paint work and the body work, just because it'll get too heavy. And this little deal right here is actually a tube that they would send messages back and forth from the pilot to the gunner, which is pretty amazing. So kind of like a bank teller thing, it would shoot messages back and forth. It's just crazy. He built this. This is the ring for the gun. There's a gun that goes in here. I haven't glued it in yet. I got a bunch of little parts for this thing that Scott made. But look at all this detail. It's super cool. And it's really hard to find information on this airplane because it's just not a popular airplane. So there's not a lot of information out there. But there is one left, and it's in Pensacola in the Navy Museum. And their airplane has the interior is painted the same color as the exterior. So that's what we're doing here. We still have to do the instrument panel, a couple little things like that. Scott is still making up pilots, and you guys will crap a brick when you see how amazing the pilots are that Scott is making. So Scott also did some like flight control seals, reshaped kind of a bunch of this stuff that was not really finished yet. Redid the tail wheel setup, did a bunch of body work. All this tan stuff is filler that Scott put on. So I just did a little bit. I'm starting to work on the wings, getting some of the body work done on these. I do need to address the fillet. It's kind of not spectacular, so I'm going to probably put some 1/64 ply underneath here and then fair it all in so it's a more robust fairing. It doesn't just break. But that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to keep doing some body work, and I need to go buy paint. Scott made metal exhaust pipes. It's just amazing. I need to talk to my friend Chris, see if he can print me a 3D printed radial for this thing. John had started assembling parts for one, but honestly it's kind of too small for the airplane. Scott made new canopies for it. The ones that John made were a little wavy, and Scott decided that it would look a lot nicer if we made some new canopies. So Scott made new canopies. And like I said, guys, Scott does amazing work. Wait till you see all the little details he did for this thing. There's a bomb on a drop. It's not going to be droppable, but it'll be fixed. But it looks amazing. There's the antenna mast with the antennas. It's crazy. It's going to be totally sweet. So I'll stop the video here, and once I get some more work done, I'll take a couple more video clips, and that'll be it for this one. Okay, so here's where we're at. I put some 1/64 ply along this edge of the fillet. So now I'm going to go in and fill this in with spackle, smooth it out. That's how it looks from the underside. So you can see just how the construction method used on this Gorilla Glue, blue foam, and Depron. Pretty crazy. This thing is going to be super sweet. Okay, so here's a little bit of spackle on there. Sand that out. Gotta do some body work on the wing here. I've already spackled the wing seams and everything else. So I think that'll do it for this video. Try and keep it somewhat short. And yeah, we'll sand this, reapply if needed, do some polyurethane clear over the filler, and then start prepping for paint. So there's just a few little things that I got to do. I got to do the gear doors and a few things like that. Scott already made those parts, so not a ton left to do. Need to get paint. John always used latex paint, and now that Model Masters is gone, it's probably what I'm going to use. Also because it won't hurt the foam, and because it's such a lightweight. This is Depron with 3/4 ounce cloth with water-based polyurethane, so it's probably not super paint resistant, so I think water-based paint's the way to go. And yeah, the bodywork won't be perfect on this thing. The wings are wavy, the body's kind of wavy, but the whole idea was to keep it light and for it to look realistic in the air. So try not to get carried away with the bodywork and stuff, because it just adds weight. So we're looking at an 8-pound, 8.5 pound maybe with battery, so that's pretty impressive for something this size. Anyways, airplane nerd in the works, texting out, flying around. So yeah, so that'll do it for this episode, and come chime in for the next one and ask any questions in the comments if you have any, and yeah, we'll see you next time.